Hello, 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 good people. Hello, good people. I am Dr. Hollie Kelly, and this is Ira back again. And so, one of the things we were talking about is what it takes to make a marriage work. And does it take all of this? Does it take, big vacations and big houses and diamonds and big anniversary celebrations? Or is it just the consistency of little things? Now, I'm too far away to be reading. Hey, Donnie. Hey, Dee. Just consistency in little things. And I think if you would agree with me that it's the little things, being mindful and deliberate about the little things that will make or break a marriage. What do you think?
That's correct, but we all have different financial statuses, so therefore, if you can afford a big ring and she likes a big ring, you buy a big ring. But I don't think that can't be the base of the relationship. Is those things.
Okay, so what if you buy me, and I'm not into big rings, but what if you buy me a big ring? What about in between the big rings, the daily things?
That's a growth process for both of us, and as young people, when we're married, is to learn the likes and the dislikes, learn all of our nuances, So, if you love someone, you care about someone, you'll spend that time trying to learn the little things that they like, the little things that they don't like, because it creates a mental comfort zone for both of us. Because there's a time when I don't want to be bothered with you. You know what I'm saying. I don't want. Sometimes I like me time when I'm training. Okay. I like and you.
I do.
And you like Hollie time.
I absolutely like.
We have to know that.
Alone time. Yes.
We have to know that, and I guess we have to be just a little bit intuitive. And,
Okay. So talking about intuitive with your mate, Kelly is very good. Now he don't like me. He see, that's why he does that every time I say Kelly does this, because he does not like being in the spotlight. But one thing I've learned from him, he's very, even when I go somewhere, even if I leave her in the morning, he always is looking behind to see, did she leave something? Why do you do that?
It's a long drive to San Diego.
But he'd be willing to do that.
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I just believe that a relationship is it's not about, oh, he's so beautiful, she's so kind, the ring. It's about all the things that learning that she can be forgetful at times, learning that I'm forgetful at times, and that's what we like when I get ready to go play golf. I always put my coffee in the microwave and I always forget my coffee, and you bring it out to me. It's just little simple things like that. It doesn't take much for us, but other people it might take a little bit more. Well, you let me forget my briefcase because we were sitting there having an argument. No, I didn't let you forget your briefcase. We are just supposed to be just basically in tune.
Hey, Baron Taylor.
Basically in tune with each other, knowing that okay, she's going to work and this is a long drive. We make sure that you have all the things that you'll need to make that drive comfortably and not to have to turn and come back, because you have forgotten your purse a couple times and your phone.
Yes, I have. You know what? But I think that's it. I think that's the key. It's the intentionality of it, being intentional to take care of your spouse, being intentional about it. Because, without being a mind reader, I think we can flip the switch and try to be a mind reader, and that can go bad for us.
Yes.
Because if I have unspoken expectations, but I'm expecting him to know them, I never told him, I never said it, they're unspoken, and then I go around and I act and I do as if he knows, that's going to cause an issue.
I agree.
That's going to cause an issue. But going outside of yourself and thinking about us being me and the girls. Do I think about you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you do.
Okay. Who's the better thinker of her?
No.
He is. No harm, no foul.
But you have to look at, there's, thousands of different types of relationships. And I've seen a lot of them in my business where there's selfish-minded people that don't even care about what their mate thinks. Like, here's a better example. A husband comes home from work and he talks about how hard his day is and how much trouble he had with this client, that client, and just ranting and raging and just throwing all this on the wife, just throwing it all on the wife, and not once saying, hey,
that's good.
How was your day?
Yeah.
Do you need anything?
Yeah, that's
I learned it years and years ago when I was a selfish-minded person from Dale Carnegie. How to win and influence people. That book changed my life because it made me realize that I don't live in this world alone, and I'm not in this relationship by myself. In order to make it better for me, I got to simplify it and look after her.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you read the book. No, he's not on payroll yet.
That won't happen.
But I am taking care of him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I compensate in other ways outside of the payroll. That's why he's keep coming back. I appreciate that. Again, we don't pretend and we don't play marriage counselors on TV, but we.
I am not a marriage counselor.
Neither.
I'm a struggling man. Believe me, I've been through it and I've taken her through it, and she's been receptive to my growth, my shortcomings. Hey.
And my growth and my shortcomings, because it takes two to tangle. Sometimes we just get in here and depending on what you've seen growing up, you can just have the fairy tale romanticized version of what a marriage is, and you go in there and that lasts how long?
That's only one dimensional though. That's a selfish-minded person thinking that this is the way a relationship's supposed to be.
Well, it's either selfish or lack of knowing. Well, sometimes you just don't know.
Based on my experience dealing with people in my profession, listening to them talk about their spouses, how they want this and they want that, and he said, well, here's a better example. One of my clients told me that her husband wanted something sexual 250-something days out of a year. I mean, to me, just for someone to actually say that it's selfish-minded. You have to understand that the person across from you, you have to be equal, and your desires have to be somewhat similar. This is how you find these things out in the beginning. So I mean, and apparently she didn't like it because it didn't happen. If it happens for a short time. It ends up ruining the relationship. So it's our responsibility to find out exactly what our mate likes for it. I mean, whether it's coffee, whether it's too much cream. Know them so we can take care of them, and that creates harmony in the relationship.
I've learned to intentionally do what I don't feel like doing. That's Elder Solomon, and that's good. Sometimes, I thank you. That's very good, because in a marriage, you can't always do what you want to do.
Absolutely, it's not, because it's not about you all the time.
It's not about you.
No, it's not. You can't make it about you.
Two becoming one. Yeah, it can't be about. But I will go back to the part of sometimes it's not selfishness. And I can speak directly for me. I just didn't know. Sometimes some things I just didn't know about this thing called marriage, and I've had to learn. Sometimes I've been a very slow learner, but you learn along the way.
I agree.
Okay, but thank you for not.
There's still, I'm talking about, and you guys know, there's selfish-minded people here that want things their way. But my dad did this all the time, and they were married for 40 years. Yeah, was she happy for 40 years?
Okay. Okay, that's a good point. So, I just make the time, be intentional about learning your mate and going outside of yourself. Something good point. You got to go out. It's not all and only about you all the time.
True. Very true. Very true. Very true.
Thank you for joining me today again, Ira Kelly. Okay. Until next time, take real good care of yourselves.